r/AskReddit. What really obvious thing have you only just realized? This is a smiling Kanye. It only appears once every 20,000 Kanye pics, very rare Kanye. Like in 5 seconds or bad luck. I recently realized I was allergic to carrots. I just thought they made everyone's mouth numb, you know, just like almonds. I also learned recently that I have an almond allergy. Same here. Thought that raw hazelnuts don't taste good, because they give this weird tingle in your mouth. Found out I had a nut allergy when it suddenly turned from tingle to anaphylaxis and I ended up in hospital for eating nut chocolate. That Jessica Rabbit is not a rabbit, but took Roger Rabbit's last name. On a similar vein, as a child I was confused as to why Mary, Kate, and Ashley were referred to as the Olsen twins and why ads on TV only ever showed 2 of them at a time. And then 16-year-old me found out about Mary Kate. John Oliver would like a word with you. That big ship's wheel I got to turn as a kid was not actually controlling the cruise ship. Hi Dwight. I learned that allspice is actually one spice and not a blend of spices containing cinnamon and nutmeg. Edit. Reworded. I do not think cinnamon and nutmeg are blends. And tasting it doesn't help disprove that theory. That the division symbol is just a blank fraction with dots replacing the numerator and denominator. Well hell. All of these I read and this one got me. Mind you, I teach elementary school. Thank your lucky stars I don't teach math. Percent symbol too. Percent. Super embarrassing, but in college I would order rum and cokes because I heard everyone else ordering the same. Turns out I misheard everyone and found out it was just rum and coke. A Roman Coke does sound like a great drink though. That Michelangelo's David is David from David and Goliath. How did I not know this? I thought it was just dude called Dave. Edit. I love how many of you just learnt this today or very recently, and just thought he was some dude called Dave too. We got there in the end guys, better late than never. Edit. I never knew there was a sling, I thought it was his trousers. Yes, I honestly thought that. Never saw the rocks. On a similar note, I am 37 and only realized a few years ago that the David and Goliath David is the same David as King David in the Bible. Obviously not raised in church. This is going to make me seem dumb as hell, but I recently realized why pickles don't ever come fresh. Maybe not the way you're playing with them. Valve released Steam. It took me a long time to realize the pun. God damn. My grandpa used to ask me when I was a kid if I could talk without moving my lips. Being a dumb-ass kid I would always give it my best effort, and thought I was pretty good at it. 20 years later I realized the old bugger was just telling me to shut the duck up, haha. Too bad I can't let him know I finally figured it out. Edit. Thanks for the silver kind stranger. I'm glad this hopefully got a chuckle out of some you. I know it always gave him a grin when I failed to figure it out. Have a great night everybody. The houses in Bikini Bottom are car mufflers. What the duck? And Patrick is dumb and knows nothing because he lives under a rock. When I was a kid my mom told me my rabbit Rosie went to live on a farm. In my early 20s I saw an episode of The Sopranos where everyone makes fun of Tony when he realizes his dog didn't really go to live on a farm. That's when I realized Rosie had not gone to a farm either. Edit. I would like to officially apologize for the cascading wave of terrible realizations my post has caused. Truly we sit on thrones of lies. It turns out a lot of animals really do get to go live on the farm from the responses here, so that's cool. If it makes you feel any better, I lived on a farm as a kid and took in 2 rabbits. One of my mom's friends was sick of her kids having rabbits, so I got them. They lived a good life. I used to bring them all of the butt ends of any vegetables my mom chopped up and I gave them a lot of ice cubes in the summer. They didn't like to be petted but they seemed to like it when I read to them. Greater than they didn't like to be petted but they seemed to like it when I read to them. That has to be one of the cutest things I've ever read. I thought astigmatism was astigmatism. So I thought you could have 2 stigmatisms. And I confused stigmatism with both stigma and stigmata. For a long time I thought to bust a nut meant that you were going to kick a guy in the balls or beat him up. So anytime I was getting worked up or angry talking about some guy, the first would say I'm going to bust his ducking nut, not knowing the real meaning. Nobody ever said anything, but it was always followed by my friends laughing, so I assumed it was because I was being dramatic. Years go by and my coworker is telling me about some rude person he met, and I said, "You should definitely bust that guy's nut," to which he paused and said, "Do you even know what that means?" Suffice it to say, I was extremely embarrassed and horrified when he explained it to me. Edit. Oh wow, thank you for the silver. Glad my first silver had to do with busting a nut. Peas. For those who were asking, to bust a nut where I'm from means to ejaculate everywhere or jerk someone else off. Edit 2. Gold? Wowee, I'm glad this made people laugh. Feeling much better knowing a lot of other folks made similar mistakes, ahaha. I had a boss that was under the impression that bust a nut meant to work extremely hard. Suffice to say, our team meeting ended awkwardly when Sean would tell all of us to go bust a nut after the meeting. When the kids catch their mom kissing Santa Claus, it is because Santa is their dad dressed up. Not because Santa and mom have a once-yearly torrid affair. Yeah, I just realized this like last year, lol. I just never rethought my understanding of it from being a kid. That parents have children write letters to Santa so they can figure out what to buy them for Christmas. I can't believe how I never put that together after 32 years on this earth. I just thought it was fun little tradition. In Sweden we put those letters in the postbox with mail headed to the North Pole. I live in a part of Chicago called Greektown for 8 years and never realized the blue and white Christmas lights were meant to represent the colors on their flag. It just dawned on me today. I think Chancellor Palpatine is a Sith Lord. A Sith Lord? This girl I know has a dog named Dog. 2 years into knowing her and being around Dog, I was having a conversation with her sister-in-law and I said, "I love the name Dog, how did she come up with that?" Her sister-in-law responds, "Dog," and I said, "Yay, it's a neat name." She started laughing and said, "No, D-O-G. The way you spell dog. I'm still mindblown about this, lol." I knew someone whose dog was named Spot. S-P-O-T. Growing up we had a friend that named his pet parakeet Woofer. As in opposite of tweeter. Must have been a stereo freak. The Grammys are called that because the awards are gramophones. That they put measurement stickers next to gas station doors so if a robber is running out of the store you can get a better estimate of their height. I always thought they were just there for something fun to do on road trip stops. More than that, they're not actually accurate if you stand against them and measure that way. They're supposed to be placed so the camera will show the correct height of the person, compensating for the angle of the camera. Whoa. Whole new dimension to it now. Till. The first time I visited the USA I was on my own and in NY and going to all the museums. I kept seeing signs that said no strollers and thought, because we call strollers prams in the UK, that you guys are super strict about the proper amount of attention required to visit a museum. I actually pretended to show more interest than I had in order not to be thought of as some deadbeat out for a casual stroll. It wasn't until about day 3 that I saw a no strollers sign that included a graphic for idiots. Edit. Woo. Thanks for the gold and silver and 40x the karma. I'm a Brit who got sucked into a holiday job doing door-to-door sales for a MLM company in the US. All the doors with signs saying no solicitors confused me. As I was neither an attorney or a rent boy I figured I was in the clear. Fortunately the local police took an afternoon out of my day to explain that to take off the plastic piece on top of deodorant you just simply twist the bottom a few times LMAO. No. I must bite. That's what I've been doing for years. When I was little we had an Australian shepherd named Sydney. I didn't understand why her name was Sydney until 18 years later. I named my American Eskimo Juno. You have an Eskimo? For the longest time, I always thought prima donna was prima donna. Me too. My mother would call me that and I thought she meant I was going to be a whore. Well, are you? Today my friend realized pipe cleaners were originally for cleaning pipes. After I suggested using one to clean a metal straw because it's similar to a pipe. Oh. I had that one about 7 years ago when my stoner ass was trying to clean out a glass pipe. Mon, this is so stupid, someone should invent some sorta duck-in pipe cleaner. Oh. I live in Denmark so English is not my native language and I just realized that weekend means the end of the week. The odd thing is that in the US, our calendars are arranged Sunday to Saturday, so it's sort of the weekend, but it's also the week beginning. It was a bit of a surprise when I moved to Denmark and saw calendars arranged Monday to Sunday. Week ends. Like book ends. Edit. Thanks for the gold and silver.